Hey, what it do, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again, and it is Monday, Victory Monday. Yeah. Cowboys get the unexpected win last night. Well, yesterday afternoon into the evening. Depends on where you're at, because if you were in Texas, they're an hour behind us over here in the East Coast, so you know how that goes. So afternoon, evening, whatever the situation may be. Beautiful day at AT&T Stadium yesterday. They had the roof closed, but they had the doors open. So with the doors open, uh, the sunlight came through, and it was real bright. It was real bright out there in that field. But um, the stars shine bright, and the Cowboys definitely won. So that was a good thing. They got the win, very unexpected win. It always seems like the Cowboys always figure out how to win a game when the chips are down and when nobody's even gunning for them to win a game. Um, got some takeaways from that victory yesterday, 44-21. Now the score doesn't even tell you how much of a blowout it really was because they scored two touchdowns in garbage time that the Cowboys kind of just allowed them to score. I don't know what I respect Sean McVay and everything, but I don't know what he was thinking. He kept going for it. The 2 point conversions. I'm like, you're not going to catch up. I mean, you're not. There's no way. There's not enough time for you to come back, and you're down too much. And he ended up getting one of his receivers hurt. So it's just certain situations like that. I'm all about being aggressive on offense, but um, when it doesn't matter, you kind of got to be smart about it. But I guess he was like, hey, well, we ain't going to the playoffs no way. So it is what it is. Um, a lot of people lost a lot of money on that game. I mean, I'm not a bettor, but because I'm no good at that type of stuff anyway, and I work hard for my money, and I'm not betting nothing. But there's professional gamblers out there, and some people win, some people lose. Again, with the NFL, it's so sometimey, man. Any team can beat any team at any time. It's just a matter of when you get hot. Um, the Dallas Cowboys defense came to play, y'all. They That's all I can say about that. They went from missing 19 tackles to literally only missing one in yesterday's game. Um, we were up by so much that they took Sean Lee and Jalen Smith out halfway through the fourth quarter. Um, Sean Lee was vintage Sean Lee yesterday. He literally came out there. He had an interception. He had a sack. He had a bunch of tackles. A few of them for losses. Jalen Smith played good. All of our linebackers played good, but we did have a linebacker get hurt. Luke Gifford. Luke Gifford fractured his arm in the game, so he's done for the season. I mean, there's only two more games left anyway, but he's done. He's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks, so we'll see him in the off season when they go through OTAs next year. Luke Gifford is a young linebacker that has some promise for the future, so I'm looking to see him do some things in the foreseeable future. Now, another guy that got hurt, C.J. Goodwin. He's a cornerback, but he's primarily a core special teamer. Definitely a guy that we need on our special teams because he is our gunner guy. Especially when you don't have Kayvon Frazier, a guy like that you need on your special teams. Now, he can also play. He can play in coverage as well. I like him. He's a real. I wouldn't say he's a ball hawk, but he's definitely a guy that is around the ball, and he's not afraid to hit. Um, he fractured his thumb. Now, Jason Garrett said, depending on how he feels this week, that he could just wrap that thing up and put it in a splint or whatever, and just go for it. There's a roster spot open now, so look for the Cowboys to sign somebody tomorrow, possibly another linebacker. I don't know if they have another one on the practice squad to bring up. They had already brought Chris Covington up, so he's there. You got Leighton Vander Esch still out, so you're definitely going to need some guys to just go in there and just help out at this point. You got two more games left. You have an important game this coming Sunday afternoon against the Philadelphia Eagles at Lincoln Financial. So it's all hands on deck. I know that Philly has their injuries and things of that nature, but you got to take advantages when you take advantage. So you still need all hands on deck. You need your guys to be there. The defense showed up. I hope that they can stay consistent and not consistently inconsistent. Because that's what we've been. We've been consistently inconsistent. One of the biggest things they talked about in the game yesterday was Dak Prescott when, in the beginning of the game, the coin toss. I've never seen a replay on a coin toss before. That was crazy. So apparently, it was confusion about the verbiage. D Law says that it was his fault because D Law was coercing him to say, "Hey, we want to be on defense first, so tell him to kick the ball, whatever." But you clearly heard Dak Prescott say he deferred. He deferred. So again, if I'm telling you that I'm kicking to you, it should be self-explanatory that I'm deferring the ball to the second half, because you can't sit here and tell me that you ain't never seen in any game in NFL history where you didn't know who was getting the ball after halftime. I mean, stuff like this only happens at a Dallas Cowboy game. I mean, you got the tripping situation with the New England game. You got the situation with Bryce Butler when he was on the team last year, where I forgot what the call was, but he was in the huddle and he walked out and came back and they did some, I don't know, like these they just come up with these plays. I mean, these calls that are in the rule book, but are stuff that is never called in the game. You know, it's just ridiculous. It's like they just save all of it for the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm not saying that to be biased. I'm just, if you have a brain in your head and you can see out your eyes, you can see what's going on. I mean, it's ridiculous, but you know, that's neither here nor there. But it was still a statement game. Dak Prescott had a good game. I was never a firm believer that Dak needed to have 400 yards passing each game to win. I think that you need to have a balance. If Dak gets 250 a game and you got Zeke getting over 100 yards, 9 times out of 10 you won the game. If not, if you didn't win, it was a damn sure a competitive one. This is the second game this season where both running backs on the team got over 100 yards. But it is the first time this season that both running backs got over 110 yards. So shout out to that. The fact that, I mean, Pollard only had like 12 carries. Zeke had, I think, 44 yards receiving as well. Again, those dump offs and those screen plays, hella important when you're trying to confuse a aggressive blitzing defense. That's how you beat them. That's how you beat them. And when you're playing a team that's a 3-4 defense, again, those of you guys that don't understand how 3-4 works, you have your linebackers are essentially your ends, right? Your outside linebackers are your ends. Instead of having on in a 4-3 situation where you have 2 ends and 2 defensive tackles in there, in a 3-4, you only have 1 defensive tackle. So those lanes are open. What happens is those outside linebackers have to come up. So the running back already has an advantage. He can get a even if he's an average running back, he can get a yard or two right there because the linebackers have to come up. So again, you just gotta scheme right. You gotta know who you're playing. You gotta know your opponent, and you have to make the necessary adjustments. In this game, the Cowboys are built to be a. The Cowboys are a team that when they're leading in a game, they are built for that. Basically saying that, like, if they're leading in the game, they're very good at keeping that lead. Now, sometimes they have a tendency with Jason Garrett to be lax and taking their foot off the gas. I still want them to continue to be aggressive, but what I mean is when they're good at keeping the lead is when you have a lead like that, you could just sit there and run the ball all day and run the clock out, and you're going to keep getting yardage because you're gassing out the defense. That 90-yard the 90-yard drive that we did to get to for that Jason Witten touchdown was pivotal. The runs were key in there. Where you got a mixture of Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard in there. You hit Jason Witten with that one-handed grab for the touchdown. I mean, things like this spark your offense. Tony Pollard got a touchdown. Zeke Elliott got 2 of them. Let's not forget about little Tavon Austin. Tavon Austin got that 59-yard catch and run for the touchdown. It was a pick play. I've never seen the Cowboys ever do a pick play before. That was straight out of New England's playbook. So that's all I got to say about that one. Now, again, I tell you guys all the time, Victory Monday, 24 to 48 hour window, depending on how far your game is that week. Um, you forget about that game. Yeah, we won. Forget about it. Get focused. Tuesday going forward. Get ready for the Eagles. Wednesday is when the Cowboys will implement their game plan for the Eagles to get ready to play at Lincoln Financial on Sunday afternoon. And we got to win this game because if we want to make it to the playoffs, you got to get that game. I'd rather be 9-7 than 8-8. So that Redskin game is still going to count because if you win both of these games, that means you would have swept the division. I don't think that um, there's been a person in the NFC, a team in the NFC East to sweep the division in a really long time. I want to say at least the last 10 years. So that's a hell of an accomplishment if they could get both of these games, and ultimately you will sweep the whole division and you will win the division at that. Um, you got a tall task ahead of you though, because if we get through these games, you get to the playoffs, you got the Saints waiting for you, or you got the 49ers waiting for you. You got Seattle right there. Which team would you rather play at this point? I know the 49ers are starting to come down to earth a little bit because Richard Sherman was hurt. They had another guy, another DB hurt as well, key guys. So, we always talk about how inevitable injuries are. They happen. But you have to just roll with the punches and next man up. Another accolade I want to say for this game, Antoine Wood stepped up. The fact of the matter that he got caught with that weed possession and he's coming back from an injury himself, and he came back and he played well. Um, these Cowboy players had a bad taste in their mouth from that Rams game in the division round when we lost last year when they let C.J. Anderson run all over them, and a mixture of Todd Gurley. They weren't going to let that happen this time. So, lesson learned, and they fixed their mistakes. Thank God they fixed their mistakes, and they played better. They almost made Aaron Donald a non-factor. We always talk about how much you got the double team and things of that nature, but um, they did a good job. This offensive line played like they ate their Wheaties. The offensive line ate their Wheaties. Now, we always talk about this team. Our offensive line, their best trait is run blocking. They're decent at pass blocking. They are. But their bread and butter is run blocking. And that's what this team is predicated on. We always talk about how we lost our identity. Our identity is still that we're a running team. We are still a running team. We just have a quarterback that can actually throw the ball as well. So you have a double threat with that. And I think that the Cowboys going forward, when you go to the playoffs, and some of you guys that don't understand, that playbook that you have during the year, you don't pay attention too much to that. You come up with a whole bunch of different type of things for the playoffs, stuff that no team has seen you do at all that year. You got to come up with some trickery, especially if you make it to the Super Bowl. I would love a Cowboys Ravens Super Bowl. I really would. I really would. But that's just wishful thinking. That's just me being a fanboy at this point. But on a realistic level, as a YouTuber, I will say realistically, we got to take it one day at a time. And I know that's cliche, and I know that's what Jason Garrett says, but that part of it is true. You do have to take it one day at a time. You can't get ahead of yourself. You have to uh, defeat what's in front of you before you get further. That's pretty much what I have. That's all I got for tonight. Let me know how you guys felt about the game. I know a lot of you guys are excited. We finally got the win. Nobody gave us a chance to win that game, and the Cowboys proved that, hey, they do have the talent there, and they can, when they buckle down to focus, they can pretty much beat anybody in this league. But we have to stop being consistently inconsistent. We have to stop being that. And oh yeah, another shout out. It's bath time, baby. Kyle Forbath comes into the game and makes all of his kicks. One thing that he has to work on is those kickoffs, though. He had 2 penalties for kicking the ball out of bounds on kickoff, but Cowboys can fix that, and I know that he'll fix that. He's not like Brett Maher. He's not going to come out there and be like, "Well, I had a great game. I felt like I did good when I really didn't." No, Kyle Forbath is he know that he one kick away from being cut. So, well, anybody is. So he want to make sure that he's making as many kicks as he can. Now, every kicker, you're not going to make every kick, but the fact of the matter is you make the important ones, and that's what matters. So, with that being said, y'all, thanks again to all my subscribers. I appreciate you guys. Hope you have a great night. Talk to you soon.